So Leeds will have the sun streaming into their faces in this second half. It caused one or two problems for the Bradford Bulls in the first 40. What has Bernard Dwyer and company got up their sleeve for the second half here at Headingley? First tackle on Dwyer. Lowe's was the dummy half. Fielden with the drive. And I rather fancy, Steve-O, that Bradford really have got to score first in this second half.
Little doubt about that, and I'm sure that Matthew Elliott really gave it to them at the half-time break. They needed it. Great start to this match, and yet their defence has let them down. It's something that Matthew prides himself upon with his players.
Dwyer with another run. That's the last tackle inside this first set of 6. Here's Deacon, this time with a midfield bomb. He sliced that, and he's looking for Fielden, and the ball hit Fielden, bounced forward, and Deacon swept onto it. But Fielden sees the funny side of it, although he believes that this should have been play on. And well, maybe it should have been.
Didn't get a hand to it, did he?
It came off Jamie Matthews' elbow.
Well, at least the youngster had a big grin with the official Russell Smith. But you could see the problems that Leeds will have to endure for at least 15 minutes, perhaps, in this second half. By then, I feel the sun would have dipped down over the horizon.
The high horizon.
You know what I'm like with my H's.
Matthew over halfway for the Rhinos.
That's why I like to have Andy Hay on the bench.
Lee Jackson is the dummy half. Iestyn Harris will stab it through all along the ground. Oh, that was awkward for Spruce. Great chase from Harris.
Leading by example. This defence has been crunching, apart from the opening minutes when Henry Paul was ripping shreds through this Leeds defence. The word got out, and they really have timed it up.
Lowe's dummy half, looks left and finds Dwyer, and Dwyer will get Bradford to halfway again. 4 tackles gone, though. Here is Forshaw, and he's trying to spin away from Lee Jackson, but he's all over him, the Leeds hooker. Only made 5 metres then, and this now is Jamie Peacock. Stabs it into open territory, but Rivette comes back quickly and collects it, and then Fielden drops on him. Well, let's hear what has been said in those dressing rooms at half-time. Bill Arthur.
As you can imagine, it was a pretty satisfied Leeds Rhinos coach, Graham Murray. As the teams came out, he emerged and said that he just wanted to see more of the same. Satisfied with the contribution of his side in the first 40, wants to again move this ball around, move the big Bradford side around, and try and create more chances. No great panic in the Bradford Bulls camp at the moment. They know they can do better. They know that they created the chances early on in the game, that they can make inroads to this Leeds defence. They're going to look to do that again in this second half. They are also going to look to tighten up their defence around the play the ball, which is an area where they were very vulnerable later on in that first half.
Great kick and chase by the Leeds Rhinos. Cummins leading the way and giving Spruce no opportunity to make ground at all. We've already mentioned that the Bradford Bulls' next appointment in Super League is against Saints next Friday night here on Sky Sport. It also ought to be mentioned that Leeds play Castleford here on Wednesday evening. So it is a massive week and a massive month of June, and here's Henry Paul. He's got support out wide with Withers. He might need him. He's trying to turn Marcus St. Hilaire inside out. Backdoor ball to Deacon. Golden comes back, and Golden makes an important interception on Deacon. Deacon and Forshaw put the ball down.
Well, why on earth didn't Henry Paul go towards his wing? This is a mistake from Forshaw. He made a wonderful break. It was beautiful speed, but he had to wing it out wide. And why he didn't utilise it? He should have forced the fullback to go across. That is a bombed opportunity.
Here's Harris, misses out Glanville and finds Cummins. Opportunities for Bradford will be few and far between. You cannot throw them away. Naylor wrestles Cummins to the ground. Cummins looks at the touch judge, thinking he should have had a penalty. What a ball from Matthew! Jackson is in open space. Jackson's looking for support. It arrives in the shape of Sterling. Sterling bounces off Spruce, straightens it up. What a wonderful pass that was from Jamie Matthew. This is Jackson. Jackson on to Harris. Harris out wide to Hay. They've an overlap. Oh, they won't need him. Hay gets his second try. It was a flailing arm on the way to the line. Hay didn't react until after the ball was down. And Andy Hay gets his second try of the match. And quite frankly, Leeds deserved that try, if only for the brilliant pass from Jamie Matthew.
He got him into this position, ball out wide, simple basics, long ball to Hay. The defence is shot to ribbons. That is not good defence from Bradford. This was to the Blake just a minute before. He should have gone out to the wing. He opted to go on a solo run. He went nowhere. It was cul-de-sac time. By the time they got there, Golden had done everything. But Leeds, beautiful long ball out wide. This is not a good defence. Hay won't mind it. You little beauty, he says. Excellent long pass, running onto the football, but that is also easy. You can't go high like that. Michael Withers and Forshaw, they will have the finger pointed at them by their coach Matthew Elliott. But Hay is running rampant.
Hasn't scored here at Headingley until tonight since last August, and now he's got two. And my apologies to Nathan McAvoy, I thought it was his flailing arm. It wasn't, as it clearly showed on that replay. It was Michael Withers. Hay reacted after the ball was plonked over the line, and Leeds had 4 more points in the bag. Harris now with this conversion attempt. Yeston Harris adds 2 more. What a start to the second half for the Rhinos, 25 points to 6.
Long ball across the dummy runner, he's circled. Look at the 2 defenders out wide. As soon as Hay gets it, if you don't go low, you've got no chance. 3-1 means they get 4. You cannot afford to tackle like that. Leeds will rip them apart if Bradford do not organise their defence. They are looking down the barrel of one big shellacking here tonight.
Deep kick-off. St. Hilaire tips the ball inside to Glanville. And Glanville charges forward again. Bradford are clutching at the players. That could have been a penalty against Henry Paul, and it is. He could also be spending 10 minutes in the bin for that. That was a deliberate professional foul to try and stop this Leeds charge.
That was a build-up to the incident where they gave the penalty away. They're getting very frustrated now. The Bradford Bulls.
Deacon is hurt. Jackson is running riot.
What a wonderful player this Lee Jackson is. The first 20 minutes, they bring Terry Newton for the start, absorb all the punishment. He's a tough boy, is Newton. Then they bring on Jackson. All the finesse and the skill from the hooker.
Well, the songs are raining down from the terraces at Headingley as Jackson loses the football. Spruce picks up the pieces, it is. And Spruce will try and launch an attack and loses the ball.
Play on.
Glanville has it back for the Rhino.
Good refereeing there. Well, good effort by the fullback, but just lost control. All brought about by the impact of some of this Leeds defence, which has been quite outstanding in the latter part of this match.
Farrell up the middle now. Deacon, the smallest man on the field, gets to his ankles. Here's Powell. Oh, Leeds are rampant. Harris holds it up, spins away from the defence, gives it to St. Hilaire. Bradford are mesmerised.
They're hanging back. Their one-liner defence is just shot to ribbons. They are not playing with any confidence.
Jackson fed by Matthew. Somehow Bradford keep them out. Can they stop them here? It's with Harris. Another flick pass. Morley to Farrell. Farrell will kick to the corner looking for Rivette. He finds Rivette. He gives it to Golden. Withers is there, and Withers... Oh, it's still in play! It's still in play! Rivette will score!
What a try!
What bravery from the man out wide. The referee naturally has not given it yet.
Can we go back and make sure?
Well, how did Golden get that ball back inside? Was he over the whitewash?
Well, that's what the video referee is going to have to look at now.
Just a minute, Steve.
Well, it came from a kick from Anthony Farrell, and you could see how this Bradford side are absolutely stunned. They didn't go for the ball. They allowed Rivette the chance to get Golden the opportunity. Is it a Golden opportunity? It is. This is try time. Well, Rivette's on the floor. He sees the ball coming. There's little doubt that that is play on. That is a wonderful piece of rugby league football from Golden. It is a golden moment. And it has a silver lining with Leroy Rivett adding 4 extra points. This Bulls outfit is run ragged.
Rivett with the second try of the second half. And Leroy Rivett, well, Leeds are going crackers.
They've just kept the ball alive. Bill Arthur mentioned just after the restart that Graham Murray wanted them to keep the ball running wide, make the Bradford side tired. And again, this defence is hanging around. When a man can get off of the ground after he's passed the football and scored a try like that, they were not alert to it. McAvoy could do nothing of it. And the man who loves nothing better than to score tries, that man, Leroy Rivett. What a try!
Well, Yeston Harris missed with his first easy conversion, but he's been dead-eyed with the boot since. Two more points to the Leeds total. They've passed the 30 mark. 31 points to 6.
What an amazing piece of rugby league football there. But you could see how the defence was just standing off. They allowed Rivett all the time in the world. I know he'll be claiming all the glory for this, and that's a prop forward, Anthony Farrell. He said, I've been practicing that training for years. Well, it came off Anthony on that occasion. But you've got to point the finger yet again. They allowed Rivett all the time in the world to take the ball.
Well, they might not have beaten Bradford in Super League on this ground before, and maybe that was incentive enough to rewrite that little piece of history. But the fact that Bradford arrived here as league leaders seems to have mattered not one jot to this Leeds Rhinos side, who are playing with such confidence now. Matthew again to Powell. He hands it off and gives it to Glanville. Glanville then finds Harris. Harris with the dummy gives it to Sterling. Sterling will cut back in field, and it's a desperate tackle from Dwyer. And another interference at the play of the ball, and another penalty to the Leeds Rhinos.
Desperation.
21,666 are inside the ground. They're watching a breathtaking display by Leeds, and as the picture tells you, that is a Super League record crowd. The previous best, Wigan Saints in '96, 20,429. Leeds have smashed that. And these are heady, heady days at Headingley.
Says it all about the feeling in the Rhinos. Little emotion from the Bulls fans. They know they have been completely outplayed.
So Harris with another opportunity to add 2 more points to the total. Matthew Elliott looks as shell-shocked as his team. 2 more points from the boot of Welsh international Yeston Harris, and it's 33 points to 6.
Well, who would have thought it? Bradford so often have come to Headingley and gone away with the spoils, but not tonight. It's an amazing game, isn't it? Leroy Rivett, 22, he says. He's a happy young kid, and why not? It has been a tremendous effort from Leeds. Remember, in the opening 15 minutes, they were on the rack.
Forward pass called by referee Russell Smith. Andy Hay.
Well, that is a relief. This will give some respite for the Bulls. It has been a real problem. The way that the Leeds forwards have just taken it to him.
Here come Bradford, Henry Paul! Henry Paul gets his second. It's not over yet, says Henry. Russell Smith points to the spot, And Henry Paul's anxious to get on with this.
Well, he knows that he does not want an embarrassment. He said, let's get on with it. Sheer pace. Look at that, run right across. There's no answer for the speed of Henry Paul. Desperation in the lead side there.
The tee quickly on, Henry Paul with the conversion. He adds 2 more. Well, it's Leeds 33 and Henry Paul 12 at the moment. Bradford won't give it in, not while Henry Paul is out there on the field.
They held off him, and you can see there that Powell, he doesn't have the speed these days. Paul knew that as well. Watch how he runs the arc, pulls him away. The sliding defence has to go out there. Golden had to go out, take the man, which left Powell with the job of tackling him. He didn't.
That, by the way, is Henry Paul's 90th try in the British game. So often he has excelled against Leeds in his Wigan days. Oh, and there was a real juggle then by Michael Withers. Good run, though, from him, with Andy Hay doing a piggyback. And Bradford have upped the tempo. It's visible, but is it too late? 33-12.
You would think so, but there's still plenty of time left.
Well, remember in their title-winning year of '97, Steve-O, the fight back that they produced against the Halifax Blue Sox at the old Drum Hall.
Well, you could see the Bradford players, they were looking at the scoreboard when Harris was tagging on the extra 2 points. And they were embarrassed. Their heads were down, but they have come back with a lifeline, perhaps.
Well, they only need 4 more tries.
Only.
And Leon Price.
Oh, he's knocked on.
He has. Bradford will get this back.
Well,
Leon Price allowed that to drop.
Well, he had the opportunity of racing into open space. Leon Price had gone for the football. There was no one in front of him. He was away, it was St. Hilaire. Well, that's another mistake. Remember, from the last scrum, Henry Paul went right away around Powell.
Can he do it again? McNamara from the base of the scrum. There is Henry Paul. Back it goes to Naylor. Naylor is tackled by Cummins. Nowhere for him to go. McNamara now at dummy half. Here is Warren Jowett. Jowett trying to swat Morley away, but Morley wouldn't be put off. Lowe's to Boyle. Suddenly, Bradford are having a bit of a go. Is it too little too late? They will say not. Fielden with a good chance to within 5 metres of the line. Lowe's is at dummy half. He fires the pass to McNamara. It goes further wide to Henry Paul. Henry Paul then wide to Naylor. And Naylor flicks the ball out the back door to Withers. Back it goes to Paul. Paul then on to McAvoy. They're keeping the ball alive, but Matthew is there with the tackle. That's the last for Bradford. Lowe's stabs the ball in goal. He's after it.
Knock on offside.
Offside against Lee Jackson. Get up it, Lee.
Well, it's all gone against Leeds at the moment, but that was wonderful pressure, though.
Well, 2 points is no good. They're going to go for 6. Obviously, Henry Paul. Boyle. Oh, that had a cross all over.
Farrell. He threw a quick punch then. I think Boyle just went into his face with the head and reacted to it.
Hang on, Henry. Hang on. Well, he's holding his throat. Another penalty. Here's McNamara. McNamara then on it goes to Peacock, and Leeds are defending desperately. The last thing they want is to concede another try. Here's Dwyer. Oh, Morley shut out the line. How did he keep that ball alive? Fielden. Cummins is after him. Good defence.
He's lost it. Fielden's lost it. Play on. We'll play the knock on. Cummins looks in amazement. Well, a youngster, he realises that he just lost control of that football. He tried to get up to play the ball quickly. Lowe's forces the offside. Watch Jackson. He's in front. Came off Sinfield. Well spotted by Russell Smith. It's been a hard game for him. A lot of tension here. Super League record crowd. They really have made a din.
They have. They've made their presence felt at this marvellous occasion. Leeds in possession. They'll now try and steady the ship down, surely. Even though they're 33-12 ahead, Bradford, after the Henry Paul second try, have the sniff of the revival of all time. Andy Hay, good tackling there by Peacock. Here's Jackson. Jackson out to Rivette, and Rivette is dragged into touch. Tackle was not completed.
Plenty to say as a youngster, Rivette. You see he lost the ball anyway. So irrespective of whether he went over the whitewash or not, it was picked up by Russell Smith. Well, surely the Bulls cannot inch their way back into this match, but a try here could make things interesting.
Henry Paul again, and Sinfield following Henry Paul all over the park at the moment. This is Spruce, and Spruce now being dragged towards the touchline.
Good tactic by Graham Murray, the Leeds coach. Get the message out to young Sinfield. Make sure that wherever Henry Paul goes, I want you to go with him.
Leon Price at dummy half, McNamara, and that's Boyle. Desperation about this Bradford attack, really. But if they score a try here, hang on to your hats. Forward.
Pretty close.
Not picked up by either officials.
But the crowd here are not the man in charge.
Matthew Elliott watching anxiously on. Lowe's stabs it in goal, and that is wasted.
Well, it wouldn't have been, and not surprisingly, Lowe's is looking at his players and saying, hey, come on, you've got to be aware of this. It's as though they don't know he's playing, and he's not too impressed either, Matthew Elliott. Nervous time for Graham Murray, but at 33-12, surely he's got enough in the bank.
Well, history will tell you so, because the last home win against the Bulls in the Regal Trophy in 1995 November, the last league win at home in September of that year. But it was 32-30 on that occasion. At the moment it's 33-12.
Well, what a game this guy's had, yet again, Lee Jackson.
And this fella's not done so bad since he came on, Jamie Matthew. But Jackson and Matthew, two really influential substitutes. And Matthew making his 50th substitute appearance tonight. That's quite some record, isn't it, for the Australian big number 20.
Well, who will ever forget that neat little pass back on the inside, how he got it away to Lee Jackson in the first place. That'll go down in the memory for many, many years to come.
0660 10 10 13 for your votes for man of the match. 2 grand final tickets on offer. You have to predict the losing coach's choice. A flying leap by the fullback Spruce. Farrell's all over him, and Spruce milks the penalty.
Got through a lot of work as Farrell went for the football. Tackle wasn't completed, but you can see there, just a little bit over the top.
Well, on we go. Bradford aren't holding any board meetings at the moment. I wonder if you are. I wonder if you have seen a man of the match display. And the losing coaching staff will be picking the winner tonight. See if you can agree with them. 2 grand final tickets up for grabs. Is this a grand final dress rehearsal? Leeds and Bradford both have designs on Old Trafford, but then again, so does St Helens and Wigan, and 1 or 2 others. Henry Paul tried to get that away.
Boyle couldn't get it in again. But a deja vu there. Remember, in the opening 10 minutes, it was Paul that went through and offloaded a pass, and Boyle put it down. A lot of pressure there, though. Leeds will grind it out. It's been a tough day for the Australian David Boyle. He's had a big game as well, Andy Hay.
He has. He's on halfway now. Cummins is the man in at dummy half. It's with Adrian Morley. Oh, another drive into this defence. You've got to be brave and strong to stop Morley in full flight. Matthew, lovely sidestep. And well played, Peacock, to hang on to him. Harris from dummy half. Skips the ball over the top. Oh, it's bounced almost fatally. Ping pong, Sinfield won't score. Referee has blown the whistle. Off Leroy Rivette, says the referee, Russell Smith. Sinfield thought he'd scored.
Neat chip over, though, from Justin Harris. You'd see there that Withers was in no man's land yet again. He allowed that ball to bounce.
I think it was Marvin Golden, actually, not Leroy Rivette, picked up by the referee, Russell Smith.
There was also a knock-on after that from Terry Newton. Well, it's had everything this game. You have to admire the way that Leeds, though, They really weren't under pressure early in this match, and then they got a bit of mongrel in them, didn't they? They played it hard and just towed the line, went very close. Few penalties were given out, but it certainly stopped the Bradford Bulls from taking control in those early moments.
It did. It's no wonder that tickets for this were sold out weeks ago. It's full house time at Headingley. Bradford against Leeds.
Well, they've got to be more adventurous now, the Bulls. They realise they've got to try to get psychological lift.
What a great tackle there by Golden again. Lowe's. Out it goes once more to Boyle. He gets them over the halfway line once more. The high kick from McNamara is inviting the run from Naylor. Sterling, though, claims it so well.
Eyes on the ball at all time. No fear there from Sterling. Not the easiest thing when you've got the players charging towards you.
This is a fearsome sight running towards you, I fancy. Adrian Morley. Jackson's at dummy half.
It's been another feature of the Leeds outfit, the way that they have just shared the work. Forwards and three quarters, helping each other. Oh, he did well then, Golden, to keep inside.
He did, and Newton did well to shuttle the pass into his arms. That's the last one for Leeds, this set of 6. Here's Jackson, long ball to Harris, kicking over the top into the arms of Leon Price. Cummins is after him, and Francis Cummins doing a good job on the youngster. Henry Paul hands it on now to Stuart Spruce. Terry Newton.
Some of this defence has been outstanding.
This is Jamie Peacock, grounded 40 metres from his own line. 3 tackles are gone. McNamara to halfway.
Leeds really have out-muscled this Bradford pack.
Jowett on the charge.
They'll be sore and sorry after this match. It really has been a tough encounter.
McNamara floats the kick over the top. Rivette is after it. He can hear the Bradford chasers behind him. Oh, risky business, but it came off. That shows how much confidence Leeds are playing with. Marcus St. Hilaire gets it to Warren Jowett.
But most importantly, the way that St. Hilaire made sure he went back there to help. That's an important factor too.
Here's Jackson. Jackson down on the floor, tackle not completed, so he hands it on to Morley. Morley then spins it to Harris. Back it goes to Morley. A hole's opened up the middle for Morley.
Such a difficult man to get to the ground.
Harris. Back to Andy Hay. This fella's on a hat-trick, remember.
Bradford players are walking back now. They are really out on their feet.
Harris again, stabs it through. And Dwyer, did he get to it?
He did.
He did.
Kick through came off Dwyer's feet. Finished up with a football in the end. Or did it? Yeah. Sufficient enough for the referee to say okay. But on that last set of 6, Leeds driving forward, the Bradford Bulls players, they really were out on their feet. They're not moving up in that defensive line. It's been that tough out there.
Lowe's dummy half goes down the short side. This is McAvoy.
Kept him very quiet. Hasn't had one clean break.
McNamara, on it goes to Henry Paul. Back then to Scott Naylor. It opens up a little for Naylor, but Jackson handing him down. Last
that
tackle.
should be a penalty.
It is.
Little professional foul there from Lee Jackson. And I think this happens yet again. Then we might find somebody in the sin bin.
So here come Bradford again with Dwyer. 20 metres away from the Leeds line. Lowe's to the big man Fielden. And he drives it straight at Matthew. He stands firm as a rock. Robbie Paul watching on as Lowe's seems to conjure something up. Lowe's is just held up short of the Leeds line. But all over the top of him. Here's Henry Paul. Bounces in front of Boyle and he collects it, then straightens it up. Desperate defence though from Leeds. You would think they're defending a 2-point lead, not what they've got. Spruce back to Henry Paul again. Awkward ball to control. It's now with Fielden.
Very light defence. They really are swarming all over them.
Paul again. McNamara will hoist the kick into the corner, looking for the tall men out there. McAvoy. Oh, it's claimed though by Jackson. Off the ground. Oh, he's gifted it. He's gifted it to Boyle. And Boyle will score. Jackson flipped the ball back, and Boyle said thank you. He'll take the gift. Referee Russell Smith wants it checking out by the video referee though.
Well, he did also well, didn't he? Lee Jackson came to the rescue, and then for some unknown reason, he had a rush of blood, offloaded the football near to his line. Now, was that a knock-on first from a Bradford player? I think you might find that Nathan McAvoy has been deemed. We've got a knock-on. It's pretty difficult to see who's got to it. No, it went backwards, so that's play on. And when he offloads here, why on earth he wanted to do that is anybody's business. Only Lee Jackson will know that. This will be a try to Boyle. See, it went backwards, and that's play on. Why on earth Jackson, all the years' experience, wanted to do that when you've got such a commanding lead? Well, Boyle won't mind. It's a freakish try.
It is, and I can tell you Henry Paul's already lining up the conversion out on the far side. The try's not been given yet.
Well, I can't see any doubt in it. They're obviously trying to look to see whether there was a knock-on from McAvoy. Did it go forward or backwards? And that went backwards. You could see that it was behind McAvoy. This really is a gift. Thank you, said Boyle. Bang.
No doubt about the grounding.
Yeah,
Bradford believe they've scored. David Boyle believes he's scored. But what does the video referee say? He says he scored.
Well, he got it right.
Took a long time, but it's better to take your time and be right. And it's McNamara, not Henry Paul, who's shaping up for this conversion. Trying to drift it over the post. He's missed. 33 points to 16 now. Well,
it was a good kick by McNamara. It was a high one. And McAvoy knocked the ball backwards. That wasn't the best pass there. Came off Rivette's arm in the end. A real gift there for Boyle. Was that a tough match?
Well, he got a try against Leeds in the Cup semi as well. One of the best overseas imports in Super League this year, David Boyle.
But I wonder what he must have been thinking 10 minutes into this match when Henry Paul was tiptoeing through the tulips, offloaded the ball to him. It wasn't an easy pass, to be fair. It was high onto the shoulder, but Boyle couldn't gather it in. That would have made it 10-0 to Bradford.
Well, we've got 10 minutes left for play, and Anderson is back out to lend a little bit of heavyweight assistance. They're not giving this up yet, Bradford. They're 14 plus 3, they're 17 points adrift. But they've not waved the white flag as yet.
Pretty difficult without the calculator, Eddie.
It is. Well, I haven't got 13 fingers, Stephen. Or 17. McNamara. Oh.
Good defence yet again.
Well, they know the importance of keeping Bradford at bay, and Fielden's not well.
Oh, that was forward from Lowe's.
Here's Naylor again. Back it goes to Anderson.
Well, Justin Harris, more famous for all his attacking skills, but has got through a lot of work in defence as the lead skipper.
Another kick by Boyle. Rivette's under pressure again. It's trapped in goal. They're going to get the ball back. Drop out from underneath the lead sticks.
But he got to hand it to the Bulls. It looked as though they were in for a real hammering. Their defence was all at sea. They were lacking in confidence. But they are showing the reason why they weren't at the top of the table. I'm not so sure they're going to stay there.
Well, if they do lose here, it will then be down to St Helens to topple Wigan. First game under Andy Goodway's coaching on Sunday. Morley has disappeared to be replaced by Glanville, who returns. Remember, Leeds play Castleford here Wednesday. Another big match for the Leeds Rhinos. Jowett, good run from him. Trying to straighten it up, though, now.
Leeds looking a bit tired, and not surprisingly.
Don't miss that one, by the way. Saints Wigan, Sunday, 6:30. It'll be another snorter from the Super League. And here's Naylor. Flick past Leon Price. Off the deck to Stuart Fielden. Suddenly, though, Bradford has stopped running. Lowe's, good quick hands. He is Withers. And Withers gets to within 8 metres. Anxious moment for Graham Murray. Lowe's again. Here is McNamara. Loop past McAvoy. Cannot take the pass in.
Far too high.
That was a golden chance gone.
See looping away and in front. Chance was there. McAvoy could have taken it, but it was just drifting away from him.
Well, needless to say, Leeds are in no hurry to pack down at this scrum. Not exactly hanging on for dear life at 33-16, but they know if Bradford get another with 7 minutes left.
Well, it's hard to define whether Leeds have taken the foot off the accelerator. But to be fair to Bradford, in the last 15 minutes, they really have perked up somewhat. They needed to.
Oh, Andy Hay on the break. What a match this kid's had. He's got Cummings in support out wide. St. Hilaire on the other side. He won't need them. It's Andy Hay for a hat-trick. And that is the match for the Rhinos. Andy Hay with the hat-trick. Broke from his own territory. And he left the Bradford Bulls defence for dead. What an effort from Andy Hay. 3 tries from him, and he ran then like a three-quarter. Terrific effort from Andy Hay, the hat-trick hero for the Leeds Rhinos.
Really does not get the slap on the back and the plaudits that he fully deserves. The back three for Leeds, Morley, Hay and Glanville, have worked as a great unit. Scored 3 tries between them in that first half. 3 for this fella. Speed of the man, and that has been one of the stats features of Bradford's defence. Going far too high, they didn't need anybody. He kept looking, he kept looking. He said, I'm having a hat-trick. Never mind you. He got it down okay. Applauds the crowd here, a huge crowd as well.
And Yestin Harris with that massive bank of supporters behind him. The ball has just fallen off the kicking tee. But Andy Hay, incredibly, is not in the Great Britain training squad for the Tri-Series. I know that these days we've got to call them Great Britain and Ireland, but he's not in that training party, and there is a big nudge. I know also that Andy Goodway has got 1 or 2 important things on his mind these days now as well. But here's a big nudge for him, that Andy Hay is in top form. So is Harris, so are Leeds, and they're closing the gap on the league leaders tonight. 39 points to 6. Dean.
This is not the defence. 3-1 there of the side that is leading the way at the top of Super League. Going far too high. They're just wisping their hands across. Hay didn't mind, he had all the speed in the world.
So it's party time at Headingley, a Super League record crowd packed inside this ground. And now Leeds can relax a little and turn on their skills for the last 4 minutes. Here's McDermott.
Well, it was 21 years they had to wait to lift a major trophy. They've already done that at Wembley so far. They want to taste more and more success. And on this display, why not?
St. Hilaire, Quicksilver and Henry Paul all over the back of him. Glanville a dummy half. Harris, Leeds haven't finished. Matthew, oh, he thought of another slip pass out the back. Harris's dummy half. Jackson's dummy half. This is Harris. And this is the last tackle, and they're inviting Sterling to run. He might have scored.
I think
Paul Sterling might have scored. Sterling believes he has. The video referee has another one to judge.
First of all, they're
Slid the kick through.
Secondly,
Was he onside, and what about the grounding?
Grounding's all right. Left arm goes down. What's the left arm?
What are onside first, Dave? Check that
Going
first, please.
down, frame by frame. That looks all right. I've seen them given for that. Now they'll check the offside. So they'll go for the high shot. And he's all right. The high shot shows that he's well behind the kicker. Well, they caught napping there.
I rather fancy we know what this is going to be.
TRY.
Paul Sterling gets rich reward on his 70th appearance for the Leeds Rhinos, and Bradford Bull supporters, well, bravely smiling but their heart broken. This lot, well, they'll party all night now. They've beaten the league leaders. Not only have they beaten them, they've put the cleaners through them.
What a great team effort it has been. I mentioned earlier about the fact that Justin Harris, his defensive quality tonight, they've been outstanding.
Look at all those young faces in the crowd behind Justin Harris as he takes this kick. New supporters to the game. The Rhinos, the Bulls, the Castleford Tigers, they're leading the way in that department. And Justin Harris has kicked another. 45-16. Bradford's agony is nearly over. And Leeds have ended with a real flourish.
Last week, Wigan, top of the table, Bradford go down. Harris coming from the open side on the blind side, kick through. Liam Price beat for speed. Sterling, he's no young chicken, but he will have enjoyed that.
2 minutes to go. Can Leeds get yet another? They're looking for it. Here's McDermott, running as strongly as he did in the very first minute.
Proud of Bain, they want the 5-0 mark. And they could get it if Bradford start trying to tackle at that. Smile on the face of Graham Murray, and why not?
It's been an outstanding 7 days for him. It really has. Let's go down to Bill Arthur.
Adrian, a bit of a nervy second half, but it's looking pretty convincing now.
That's right. I mean, the first half was the same. Bradford started really well, but we weathered the storm in the first 20, and we're playing some good football, and we're taking our chance as well.
Big scalp this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's always going to be a big game. Vital 2 points for our league, but you know, as I say, we took our chances really well, and when the team's playing like this, it's a pleasure to play in team.
Haven't finished yet.
They haven't finished yet. They are getting all the skills out of the locker here. It's breathtaking stuff. Fantastic effort. McDermott will not be bundled into touch. Graham Murray is enjoying this as much as any of the supporters. Harris, he wants a one-pointer. It's just gone the wrong side of the post. Well, it started badly for Harris when he sliced that first kick wide. It started brilliantly for Matthew Elliott when Henry Paul gave him a 4-point lead. I don't think anybody would have dared predict that Leeds would win by 45 points to 16.
Pretty incredible, isn't it? Especially with the fact that Matthew Elliott really does pride himself on making sure that they have a very solid defence. But I'm afraid it has fallen apart today against a Leeds outfit who know how to roll the sleeves up. They know how to win games these days.
And they've won this one. The league leaders have been beaten, and comprehensively too. Lee Jackson played his full part, even though he didn't make it on the score sheet. 7 tries for Leeds. Andy Hay got 3 of them. And Graham Murray comes out of the dugout to congratulate each and every one of the men wearing the yellow and blue of the Leeds Rhinos. The players of both sides shake hands in front of the main stand here. Andy Hayes, the man of the moment with the hat-trick, but they have all played their part in the destruction of the Bradford Bulls, who arrived here, remember, as the leaders of Super League. Now then, still to come tonight. Over on Sky Sports 1 now, it's the Cricket World Cup Centre. And at 11, it's International Rugby Union, this morning's match between New Zealand and Western Samoa. On Sky Sports 2 now, live golf, day 2 of the US Open, followed at 11:30 by highlights of today's action from the European Tour. And here on Sky Sports 3 tonight from 10, wrestling in WWF Raw. But this has been Leeds night at a packed and happy Headingley. They milked the occasion for all it's worth, and why not? An outstanding effort from Graham Murray's team. They've closed the gap on Bradford Bulls, who arrived as the team at the summit of Super League to just 4 points. 45-16.